say they come up with an interesting story that they do digitally on this AI platform. The thing is, I guarantee you the wording is going to be that Disney would own anything created there. Because if Disney looks at it and says, oh, now that's a good idea, we hadn't thought of that one before, we should make a sequel and use that idea. So they would go ahead and develop it. Well, the person that came up with that, technically, there's a copyright issue here. Today, a media deal deep dive. Paramount versus Netflix in a cage match over Warner Brothers. Disney's deal with OpenAI, the legal ramifications involved with that, and more. Also, the valuation of SpaceX and our NFL predictions.
So Netflix has successfully, for the moment, made an offer for Warner. and anyhow, the Ellison family is unhappy because they are leading the Paramount charge for Warner. And last month I predicted Netflix would make this offer. I read it someplace. I don't even know where I read it. Maybe it was the Wall Street Journal or something like that said Netflix is interested. Paramount's going to come in and make a hostile offer now. More money than Netflix has offered. They're going to try to entice the shareholders. What's interesting is a couple things here. If they pull off this Carl Icahn type moment and actually win Warner from Netflix, Paramount takes it, in other words, a couple things happen. Do the directors at Warner get reshuffled by the shareholders? Because big companies that own Warner, like BlackRock, I guess, Vanguard, and they decide to basically override the director's vote, I wonder what happens internally. But Trump has some sway in this too. He met with the Netflix head. He knows the Ellisons, apparently. CNN is part of this equation. Take it away, please.
Right. So,
Thank you.
so we talked about this several weeks ago when Warner Brothers has been in play most of this year. It's become more public over the last several months. What happened a month ago is, as expected, Paramount made an offer. Netflix, as you predicted, made an offer. And Comcast, which owns NBC, and Universal made an offer. All of them are looking to expand on their libraries because streaming is the current and the future of Hollywood. And Netflix, what the other studios don't want is they don't want Netflix to get even more powerful and have even more content, because that
is this part of the reason why Disney went in and made this deal with YouTube also last month?
No, that's different. I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So the thing about it is it's the same reason. It's interesting because it's a repetition in history in a way. If you go way back, the person who really started all this in a way was Ted Turner. Remember that when he bought? So what he did was he purchased. He had a controlling interest in Warner Brothers. I'm going to probably get this partly wrong. He bought MGM Studios. At the time, MGM still was a studio. It still controlled its own content, including things like Wizard of Oz, going all the way back.
And that's when he started this late night movie thing on TNT, correct?
He started several cable channels, and he used all that combined content of Warner Brothers and MGM Studios to fill up his cable companies, and he started more of them. So that's why to this day we have TBS, which stands for Turner Broadcast Services. We have CNN, Cable News Network. He started that at the same time. No, he started, the classic Turner Classic Movies, TCM. I mean, there's all these different Turner things, and then he wound up selling that. Warner Brothers, and it had all this content. So that's and that happened back in the 80s. So that was sort of the forebear of where we are today. So now it's interesting because you have.
Do you know?
So wait. So Warner Brothers. Warner. No, I'm not going to lose my train of thought. So Warner Brothers has a lot of content because they have all of MGM's old content. They have all of their own content. Plus, they have New Line content
Right.
because that was a subsidiary studio they started. So there's a lot there, and they control HBO, along with all those, the networks and so on. So this is a very attractive package for any outside company that's looking to bolster its library and its own streaming platforms. Paramount doesn't have
Wait
much
a second.
of a streaming platform, so they need it from that
Wait.
perspective. Netflix
So I
wants to
have a
just
question.
crowd out everybody else, so that's why they're going after it. And Comcast
So I
has
have a
bowed out.
question.
Universal's bowed out already. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. If Netflix or Paramount was able to get this, they actually control then HBO also,
Yeah, yeah.
and they would still control all of the cable stations then that Turner still owns, correct?
Yes, however, the two deals are different. So now Paramount, I still predict Paramount's going to win because the Trump administration can decide which one they want to allow through, essentially.
Can they
Because they
decide, or
control the
they can try
FCC.
to influence with the
I
FCC?
well,
Yeah.
well, they can make a deal go away just by saying no. This is gonna. They can say, in other words, if they wanted to, they could say one of the deals is okay, but the other one is unfair labor practices, or rather unfair, market. It would destroy the rest of the markets, and they would have a good argument to do that for either one of them. But they could still let the other one go through. I mean, a deal could still
Trump
go
really
through. The question is whether or not the Justice Department allows it to go through
Yeah.
in
So
final.
there's
Yeah.
the FTC that Trump could fight it with, and there's the FTC.
Yeah.
FTC, correct?
Yeah, there's a Federal
Okay.
Trade Commission, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. There's,
Mm-hmm.
I think, a third one too. I can't remember which one. I mean, then there's the Justice Department, of course, which could say that no, this is a monopoly now. We're not going to allow it to go through.
And we know that Trump has a hard-on basically for trying to penalize CNN to
Correct.
actually make them weaker or turn their media company into a more, shall we say,
Yeah.
centrist at least
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah, he wants whoever
network.
wins out. He wants them to turn this into a right-leaning operation. He's basically said that.
And you
And
and
so, yeah, for
you've
him, it's
also
kind of
mentioned
retribution. He wants to kill
you've
CNN, especially.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you've also mentioned that Trump's family, well, I shouldn't say Trump's family, but maybe they are. Are they connected to the Saudis? You say that there's some Saudi money possibly coming into
Right.
this,
So
backing Paramount now. Is
yeah,
that
that's the
correct?
Paramount deal. So so what happened 2 weeks ago was Warner Brothers said, "Okay, we've seen all the offers. You guys have done great. We're going to take the Netflix deal. Thanks. Everybody else walk away." And within days, last week, the Ellison family said, "Not so fast," and so they launched a hostile takeover, and they sweetened their deal. So they're now at like $128 billion for everything, including the cable networks. Um, and Netflix is at somewhere around 90 billion last I heard. And the discrepancy is because Netflix says we don't need the cable outlets. We don't need HBO and CNN and TBS and all that stuff. You guys kill those or send them off to someone else. Paramount's saying no, we want everything, and they've intimated that they would turn CNN more conservative. So that is music to Trump's ears. Now, the reason that I mentioned the Saudis getting involved, there is Middle Eastern money now coming in to help bolster that offer from Paramount. And lo and behold, the person who is shepherding that part of the deal now is Jared Kushner, who's the president's son-in-law. He's married to
Is
Ivanka,
that
as we know.
that's not
Yeah,
alleged? That's 100%
that's
correct.
everywhere. Yeah, that's all been put out there up front. Risk Reward Show is a weekly podcast covering current events in worldwide business. Headquartered in Los Angeles and Tel Aviv, with partners in London, New York, Chicago, Shanghai, Mumbai, and Cape Town, we source opinions and news directly from where they're happening and then pass them along to you. Look for us wherever you get your podcast fix.